What's going on, you guys? Paul here with Paul's Performance, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I ran my power steering on my 1988 Toyota TDI swapped pickup. I've had plenty of questions about this truck, and I want to try and help everybody as much as possible because I did acquire a lot of help from YouTube and other people who have done this swap. But there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't find, and I had to just figure out. I'm trying to make as much as I can to show other people how I did mine, and maybe it'll help you guys to get your swap done a lot quicker. I will say my power steering, I tried to make it as simple as possible, and it turned out perfect. I have parts that I can easily swap out on the road. I can get from the parts store. It's not custom parts, which is what I wanted to avoid. I know for you guys, a lot of you guys out there, that's what you want. You want something that if you're driving it to the beach and your power steering hose busts, you want to be able to go to the parts store and grab one. You don't want to have to go get a custom pipe made or, hose or high pressure hose. Luckily, I found a high pressure hose that bolts right up to the Volkswagen power steering pump and bolts right into the Toyota gearbox, and it works flawlessly. So let's get under the hood and I'll show you how the system's routed. It's gonna be very short because, like I said, it's pretty simple. So let's get under. So now we're under the hood. I'm gonna start right here at the reservoir. As you can see, this is the factory Toyota power steering reservoir. It's mounted in the exact same spot. I didn't have to move it at all. I will say, when you remove it, you'll want to get rid of all the fluid that the Toyota had, and you'll want to replace it with the Volkswagen fluid, which Volkswagen uses this here, which is the German Mountain Dew. Do not use the United States Mountain Dew. It is no good. It will not work properly. No, I'm just kidding. This is what comes in the car, and being that you're using the car's pump, you need to use this CHF 11S. You can get it at AutoZone. All your parts stores should be able to at least get it. But that's what you're going to want to use. You don't want to use the Toyota fluid for this pump. This hose that comes off of the reservoir here is factory Toyota. I did not touch it. It comes up, goes through the front grille, all that's factory, and goes down to your gearbox. That was untouched. There is, at the bottom of your reservoir, there is a lot bigger hose, and that one goes down and feeds the pump. So I did use a hose. This is the hose that was on the Toyota. I just had to shorten it. It's just got a 90-degree bend, and it comes straight up here and hooks right into the Volkswagen pump there, and then that part was done. All I had to do then was hook up my high pressure side. And on the Volkswagen pump, if you look right here, there is a banjo bolt. That is how the Volkswagen hooks up to the Volkswagen hose. So what I found is this hose right here, it actually comes off of, I believe, some of the 90s two-wheel drive Toyota pickups, and it has this banjo on it that just so happens to be the exact same size as the Volkswagen banjo. Can you believe that? I'll have this part number posted up in the video, that way you guys can find this. Now granted, this hose is a little long, so you will have to route it. I have mine routed, it comes up from the top, comes over top of here, and I have my oil cooler mounted here. I have it tied up. It comes down and goes right down, and it screws right into the gearbox, because the gearbox is the same on the Toyotas in the 90s too. But for some reason, the four-wheel drive 80s models didn't have a banjo. It just had like a threaded in hose style. But I guess the two-wheel drives, they used a banjo, which is great. And like I said, it worked out perfectly. You will have to kind of route it to get it out of the way. This is a hose you can acquire at the parts store. It bolts right up. And like I said, if anything happens to it, you can easily replace it by getting a new one. I didn't have to bend mine at all. I had to route it out of the way. So that makes this a lot easier. And that's it for my power steering system. And I've had no issues with power steering. It works flawlessly. And like I said, I tried to make it as easy as possible. Knock this system out, and also just for parts replacement, I can easily buy this part. I've seen some people who actually made lines, got people to braze in banjo fittings onto the other hoses. But see, if that hose ever fails, then you're up the creek without a paddle, basically. I don't want to be that way. I want to be able to go to the parts store and get this hose and hopefully get it fixed on the side of the road. I don't want to have to tow it home. So I try to keep a lot of the custom stuff to just stuff that I know won't fail, like mounts, stuff that's metal I've welded together. I don't think they're gonna fail while I'm going down the road, but when it comes to hoses, I don't wanna have any custom hoses. I know a lot of these hoses are put together as far as my cooling system, but there's still hoses I can go buy and just cut to length and get, you know, going down the road. And that was a big thing for me. That concludes the power steering system for me. We'll have that part number in there for you for the high pressure hose, but everything else was already on the truck. I just had to modify it a little bit. All right, guys, so that concludes my power steering system. Not a lot to it. It does take a little bit of routing if you have obviously different, you know, old cooler systems, all that. But it's definitely a lot easier than getting a custom line. And this is how I had mine to work. So I hope this will help you out. Like I said, make sure you use your German Mountain Dew here in your system if you're using the Volkswagen pump. If you're using the Toyota pump, use the Toyota fluid, vice versa. I used the Volkswagen one, that way I didn't have to do as much on my front drive belt. And like I said, it worked out perfectly. The pump handles the Toyota power steering system just fine. The fluid seems to be doing great. Like I said, 0 issues so far. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any more questions about this or anything else on the truck, hit up the comments and I'll try my best to get a video posted as quickly as possible. Trying to go through each system. Very busy at the shop and at work, so we're working on it. Please give us some time and we'll get to as much as we can. So hopefully eventually I'll have every system covered on this truck to help out you guys as much as possible. Like I said, any questions, hit them up in the comments. And as always, please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.